Hi Uvians, welcome back to another Alone Gamer. Today we're going to have a look at some Petit Blocks, which is Daiso's version of, I would say, Nano Blocks. I got these a little while ago. I thought they might have been out of stock now, but they still sell them. I'll post a link to their to the website. They're about $3.10 Australian per bag. And without further ado, let's get into it. Let's see whether we're going to rip the top off one of these. No. So I've got an excavator and a racing car. Let me do the racing car first. Can we get into that without having to cut it? Oh yeah, we can. There we go. Alright, so I've got a little bag of blocks and an instruction manual. Instructions look pretty straightforward, like any other block or block compatible, only smaller. Alright, let's get this thing open. Oh, look. Oh, nearly lost the tires. Wow, okay. They want to make it break for it. It's so small. I would not like to try and find one of these if it lands on the ground. Okay, so let's start off with the wheels. Put the wheels on so we don't lose them. There's another one. Okay. So let me know if you've tried these Petit Blocks before, or if indeed you've tried any of the Nano Blocks or the off-brand Nano Blocks. I'd like to know, what the differences are. I believe that the ones that are for Pokemon are in fact Nano Blocks, but I could be wrong. Let me know if you know. So let's get a bit further into this. I seem to have an extra tire, but that's not going to be a problem. Okay, so we need a long black. Oh, we need 3 of those long black ones. So there's 2, 3. 2 of these reds, 1, 2, 3 of these black ones, 1, 2, 3, and 1 grey one, and 2 of these little right angle bits. Okay, so I'll pull this down to the bottom of the screen a little bit so we can see what's going on here. One of these goes sideways, then we run our 2 angle bits. We run our 2 long bits, which then have these bits come off the side. Long bit, 2 more of those, and 1 of those. So now we'll go on to this bit, and that should bring everything back together. Okay, so what do we need for this? We need 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 of these little ones. 2, 4 singles. 2, 3. Wow, these are so small. So how about I just start putting this together a little bit. This piece goes on there to hold all these bits together. It's so much more fiddly than Lego. I do have a Lego build scheduled for later on in the year. Hopefully you'll be able to join me for that. Okay. So we need 2 of those. I didn't do the 2 yellows, so let's grab the 2 yellows. We need 3 black ones of those. 2 and 3. Those together up there. So I don't know whether you can tell, but I suspect that some of those. Why was I looking for 3 of these? I need 4 black ones, I think, and 2 brown ones. But I don't know whether you can tell, but that does not look like there's a difference in those colors. So there's 4 black ones, which is these ones down here, and 1 brown one. Did I get 2 of those? Yes, there's 2 of those. And then we're looking for 2 of the 4 squares. 1, 2. One of those, which is that piece. 2 little red lights. And 4 of the single white ones. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's just put our wheels up there. Hopefully you can still see them. Okay. So now we put our 2 little red ones, one on either end of there, the front spoiler. So just behind that So 2 bits of 3s goes. Oh, this is going to be like this, is it? Okay. So that bit goes on there, and then grabs that bit as well. Same on the other side. That bit on there, grabs that bit as well. Oh, no, grabs that bit there. Now where are we going next? We're going into the reds. Let's go there. No. No, 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 no. The reds actually come all the way into the middle here, on top of it. There we go. And where do we go from there? Okay, so that goes there. And we put our 2 little Okay, so 2 black 4 pieces go there and there, and trap these pieces under there. Then our brown piece goes in there, leaving a gap just there. How are we going here? It's all staying together. It's looking like this back piece is still not connected. I can't see a way that it would be. Let's just go into this bit. I'll go there and there, 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 and there. Okay. Alright, so let's just have a look at this other piece here. It's saying to put that there and that there. I'm not sure that this is going to work out properly. And a 3-piece in black goes there. And then a grey. And then another 3-piece in black goes there, grabbing onto this last grey bit. Okay, so that piece is still separated. We have 2 of these pieces go onto there, like that. We put our backlights on there and there. Okay. All right, so now that's all together except that it's a little bit separate at the back there. Hopefully that all gets sorted out soon, because that doesn't seem to be very well put together. Okay, so now it says to put the wheels on. It doesn't quite say. I think the diagrams leave a bit to be desired. Do they go on there? Yes, I believe so. So that goes on there, and that goes on there. And these white bits go up the front. Oh, nearly lost it. Like so. There. She's so fiddly. I need a pair of tweezers. Oh, there we go. I have such big fingers. It's probably made for kids, but I'm just a big kid. Alright, put that one on there. Okay, so there's that part. So now the back part will be these 2 parts here. There. And there. I hope they shore this up because it's feeling very flimsy. And those white bits go on there. And there. Okay, so now we'll move on to section 4, which we need 4 of these pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Two of those. 4 of these long pieces. 2, 3, 4. It's very Ferrari red, I must say. 3 of these. 1, 2, 3. We need 1 more of those brown pieces. And 1 more of the grey pieces. So there's the grey piece. Okay, so let's start from the back. We have one grey piece goes across the back there. And we have two of these long pieces. There, I believe that's a 4. Looks like a 4. Looks like a 4 to me. Two of those on there. And then we have, oh, what's going on here? The 4, and then the brown seat goes there, which I guess connects it like that. Now we've got all 4 wheels on the ground. All right. So from there, we keep rolling forward. I think we've got four threes, is it? So if there's a 3 there and a 3 there, that's what it looks like. Then there's 3s next to it, which are set back there. Oh, I haven't used all 4 3 sets, have I? Have I launched it somewhere? I must have launched it somewhere. Let's go with that 3 there. Okay. So then from there, we put these 2 on here. One there and one there. And then we've got 4. Oh, that's not going in properly. Why is that not going in properly? Oh, it is now, after I knocked the front off my racer. Another 4 on this side. And I believe it's just 4 in front of that again. So there's a 4 in front of that there. Another one on the other side the same. Like that. There. It's kind of bending in the middle, like it's curving up like that. Don't think there was enough structure put in. Like Lego, they make sure that it's all supported. Okay. So that sits there. That one sits there, and we're on to the other side of the page. Look at that. So what do we need now? What are we looking for now? We're looking for 2 of those. 1, 2, 6 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 of the little red ones. 1, 2. And 1 yellow. Now, I'm hoping that's a brown because I don't see any more blacks. So a brown it is. A square black. And a white. And so we'll start from the front, I think. How about we start from the back? That'll line us up a bit better, I think. we're going there and there at the back. Then we've got another 3 in front of it. 1, 2, 3, and a 1, 2, 3. Oh, come on, Sophie. So then we go to there, and there. They match up. So now this one matches up with that 3 there. Oh, come on. There we go. Alright, so that one's in. And then this one goes on top of the last one we put in. Get in there. No, not that far forward. Need to go back one. To there. Just sort of making a seat in there. Okay. Then we've got 3s in front of that. Three, come on. Then what do we have here? So step 1 along on the 3 and put in a red, white, red, yellow. Yeah, okay, so it's going from the cockpit, gap in the front of the cockpit. 1, red, white, red, yellow. Okay, so now we finish off the cockpit with another brown, 3 of these whites, the 4 long pieces, and 3 little white 2s. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we start off okay, I need to pick this up a bit. My eyesight isn't that good, so 1 back. So you see there's a join. If we go 1 back from the join, we'll place it there. And then there's a 2 there, which means this brown goes right there, extending the top of the seat. And we put another white piece there. Then we go up a level. Then we put that piece there, that piece there, go up another level and put that piece there, kind of trying to create a half shell in blocks. I'm sure it's quite difficult. Okay, so now we need this long piece. We need 2 black 2s, which I don't have. It says 2 black 2s, but it never uses them. It's black 3s. 3 and a 3. 2 1s. And 2 2s. Yeah, it says 2. So that's a bit of a misprint there, I think. So if we take this bit and put these 3s on, whoop, you can put them halfway along, there you Learn something new. Okay, there we go. These little ones on the bottom there. And then clamp it in with a 2, like that. So then put 1 on the bottom of that one, and clamp it in with a 2. See, that's more like the way Lego would do it, and they would keep together better. But the main body of this is sort of bowing because for quite some time at the bottom they were 2 pieces, and then it wasn't really created in such a way that the part underneath grabbed hold and the part on the top grabbed hold. Anyway, I digress. So is it flat at the back there, or does it hang over? I'd be inclined to say it hung over like that, but I've got it around the wrong way, so let's turn it back around and go put it on 1s. Or do we put it on 2? I think they've got it on the 2 like that. Let's go with that. And there you have it. The racing car. Or what do they have listed on theirs? It's probably all in Japanese. Race car. Okay. So looks like the picture on the packet. I think so. I think I've done pretty well there. Pretty easy. The instructions to follow: ages 12 plus. I would recommend having smaller hands than me, because I mean the vehicle is that size and my hand is that size. My 3 fingers can cover up the entire thing. Yeah, but as I said, I don't mind playing with kids' toys. I quite enjoy it. It's very lethargic. Not lethargic. Lethargic is being sleepy. Cathartic is the word that I was looking for. And you do end up with some extra bits that I'm sure you can put in a bits bucket, like, I don't know, chicken salt container. I'll just pop them in there. All the spares. And I guess it's for if you're 12-year-old or 12 plus, loses a piece. There's bonus pieces there to replace them. Okay, so I'll pop that away in there. We'll leave the race car up at the top there. And we'll move on to this. And this looks interesting. It's got joints and everything in there. So it is going to be quite interesting how this goes together. I can't wait. So let's get into it. Crack it open. An excavator. All right, that's for the picture there, so you can see it, hopefully. Yes, okay. Let's start at number 1. Ooh, starting at the tracks. Let's get this open. Started putting itself together. That's handy. Okay, so let's spread that out a little bit. Okay, so we need 4 of these large black pieces. 4 of those, oh sorry, 8 of those. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Uh-oh. 8. And for those of you who can count and are screaming at me that I haven't got out enough of the big long black pieces, now there's 4. Thank you for that. I hear you and I take your words of encouragement. 2 of these grey pieces like that. 2 of the 3 1x3s. 2 of the 1x2s. and 2 of these right angle pieces. 1, 2. Okay, let's just keep all that together. Okay, so one of them we have 2 pieces that are going to get sandwiched together. With one of those sticking out either side. So then the other pieces how are we building this? So one right angle goes like that. I don't see how that's working. The other right angle goes like that. And then we have the back piece goes out there. Oh. So what is going on here? Alright, let's pull it all apart. I'm looking at it funny, I think. Let's just do one at a time. Let's put that back over there. So here is our one piece. And we put one more of these pieces there. And then we put one of these pieces out the front of that piece. And then we put our 2-piece there, I believe. And our 3-piece goes there. And then we put this piece on, sticking out like that. And then we put that piece on, and that piece on. Is that how it looks to you? I hope so. So then the top goes over that bit, and that bit goes on there. So now we have one track. The other track is the same, but backwards, or vice versa. So that goes there. Goes on there to hold that together. Or does it go the other side? It goes the other side because we're trying to build it a mirror image. Let's go there, poke a little bit out the front. The little 2 goes there. Then this piece comes out here. So these will be the inside bits where we build up the excavator. And the other side will look like it's free standing. So then we'll put one on top of that, and the other piece goes like that. So on the side you'll see that there's like a track and there's like a gap there, so it looks like it's free flowing. Okay, so for the next part, we need one black 2x4, one black 2x2, a grey 2x4, and 4 of these little bits. Hang on, there's 2 little stacks of them. Oh, he's getting away. Wow. They just go. Let's turn it that way. So that's 4. There's actually 2 in each. Okay, so now we grab this. Hang on. Again, those counting and looking at the diagram, notice that I needed 2 of those. I may have even said that I needed 2, but didn't actually grab them. That goes like that. And then we put that in the middle, and these go in all of the corners. Or do they? Yes, I believe so. Yes, I've looked ahead and it definitely does go in all of those corners. The diagram just looks a little bit funny with that pink going straight to there, but the blue going all the way through. Okay, so now this part, these bits clipped on there, extending the width between the tracks. Ta-da! Looking good. Love things with tracks on them. Okay, so number 3 looks like it needs a few parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of those. 2 2x4s. 1, 2. 1 2x3. 1. And a 1x3. 1x3. Okay. Now we need a black 2x4 and a black 2x3. Oh, did anybody else notice that? Getting ahead of myself. There we are. We now have 3 of those. One of those, one of those, one of the 1x4s in grey. 1 1x2 in grey. 2 1x1s in grey. 1. And there's another one. 1 of these joint pieces. And 1 little red light. No, 3 little red lights. It would help if I could read. It really would. Okay. So, let's see how we go. It's multiple layers. Okay, so one of these goes there. And the other one goes there. Okay, just make sure they're pushed together because they weren't sitting correctly. Okay. This is going to get difficult, isn't it? So there's one in front of that, one behind it, and on top there's one that goes down the side like that. Then we have the 4 grey next to it. 2 grey there, I believe. No? Nope, 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 nope. Nope. How are we going here? Does that fit on? That fits on there. Okay. So if that's going there, then that has to be going there. And then this black 2x3 goes there, like that. And does that go there? That bit definitely goes in there. As you can see, it's just down here. And then off the back here is that. And it gets 2 of these on there like that. To make that long piece there. And then from there we put 2 little red lights on. 1, 2. So we're sort of narrowing down the parts left to see where we're at. So then this 3 must go there. And a 4 just there. And then this part will go back down onto here. Pushing it all on, holding it all together, making sure all the connections are all the way in. You may end up with that. Let's just take this piece off of there. Make sure all of those parts are pushed together, and then we can put it back on. Okay, so we've got that part. So then this bit, I believe, butts up against there and goes straight across that. I'm lost as to where they go. What have I done wrong? Do I not see it? Ah, that's why these lights don't go straight onto there. They go on the next level up. So these get one of those on there. And another one of those on there. Okay, and that piece goes on. Where does that piece go? Okay, so it's fully on that, right there, like that. Oh, you didn't. trying to turn those because if anything needs to locate between them, it's going to be an issue. And this last one goes right up here on this corner. Ta-da! Wow, that was pretty intricate. Okay, so we'll move on to 4. We need one of those, one 2x4, one 2x3, two 1x3s. Are they 1x3s or no? They're 1x4s. Thankfully, because I couldn't find any 1x3s. One more of those. 3 more 2x3s. One 1x4 in the grey. One 2x3 in the clear blue. And 2 1x3s in the clear. Okay. So now we're putting down. It's not going to fit there. Why is that not going to fit there? Does it go there? I think it goes there. Whoops. So one there. No. It's 2x3 and 2x3. Or some combination other than that. Okay, let's have a closer look at what that is. It's 2 2x3s. Can't be 2 2x3s because it only told me to put one 2x3. But I'm looking at the wrong one. It's saying 5 2x3. Oh no, what have I done? One of those. One of those. 1 2 3 4 5. It would help if I could read these instructions. 2 of those. 1 of those. 3 of them. 1 of them. 1 of them. And 2 of them. Okay, now we're back on track. I have all the parts I need. Is that going there and there, or is it actually coming out to the side? Where is it saying that that's located? It's locating there, I believe. Oops. And there. That's what it looks like from here. And then we have this one. Comes across here like that. These two, why they've used can't be. Let me have a proper look at that a little bit closer up. No, it's not. It's this piece. It's actually on there like that. And then we have these two bits. Stick out the side. Oh. No, that's not working. These aren't located properly. Something's going wrong here. I've got to take it back. Go backwards. Will the back of my paintbrush get in there? Yep. These pieces aren't going to come off easily though. Here's one. This one's going to be the one. Come on. There we go. Alright, put this piece back on again. So, if this is where we're at, and we need two of these pieces to go there, let's work backwards from here then, if that's the case. Oh, that's come off again. Too much pulling apart. Okay, let's put it back together again. All located correctly. Let's work backwards with the window, this piece here, because it has to go on there. Has to go there. Cannot go anywhere else. There it is. And then we run that piece there. I might leave that off of there for now. Put it back on later. It sort of pivots under there because it's only joined to that one little part in the middle. Okay, so there's that piece, and then we'll put another piece right next to it. And then we put two yellow, one. No, we decided that wasn't those two bits, that it was actually this piece, didn't we? Goes there, in line with it. And this black piece must sit directly on top of that black piece, which is not what I had before. And then these yellow bits go there. And there, they were located in the wrong place. I mean, this arrow doesn't really give me a very good location for that. And then this grey piece goes two in on that. So it's just straight on top of that grey piece. Okay. So that's the first story of that. And the next one, I would be inclined to put that piece there to shore that up, and then the next piece would be that piece there. They've done it around the other way. Is there another piece that goes on top of that? Let's look ahead, quickly look ahead. Yeah. Alright, well let's do that. I think they're trying to put a defined window edge on the side. One there, one there, and then we're putting in another black one of those, and then we're putting in two of these, one and two, all the way across to there, and then a three piece sits to the front of that, behind that, I think we've got this great big piece. And then behind that, we go with these 2 3 pieces, I think, but stepped in one. So it's clamping in that light at the back there. Nice. Okay. Whew. We'll leave those wheels separate for now. Or tracks, as the case may be. Let's flip it over. What have we got now? Now we're looking for 1 2x4 in black, 2 2x3s in yellow, 2 2x3s in clear blue, a 1x3 in black, a 1x3 in yellow, and 4 1x3s in clear blue. 2 3 4. Okay. Alrighty then. So, a little bit going on here. Let's just build this cab bit first. We start with a clear blue. Then we have another clear blue. And then we have the black one. And then we have another clear blue. And on top of that we put a clear blue, which makes that double high. Yeah, it can stay there. Another one of them, double high. Okay, what have I done? There should be 2 black ones. Ah, if I could read instructions, really. I hope we're ironing out the kinks for any problems that I'll be having when it comes to doing the big Lego build. Hopefully I don't have these instruction reading problems. And then another one on there. And then this one is standalone again. Yeah, probably would have done that differently just to give it more structure. But it is what it is. So then this part goes on there. So now if you have a look at the side, it kind of has this window look on the side, that there's a front window and a side window. But yeah, I probably wouldn't have done it that way. Because now this part here is sort of freestanding unless there's going to be another cap put on top of it, but I don't think so. Oh, that does not want to go on there. Why does that not want to go on there? Oh, that side does not want to go on there. So it wants to go on there. That is a tight fit. Alright, well, I've been proved wrong. That is probably going to stay there forever. I reckon you could bounce that off the ground and it'd still be there. Okay. And there we go. We've got the cab on. And then this part here. Where are we going with that? Go one in from the side. And it goes there. Okay, so number 6. Let's have a look at number 6. 1 4x2. 1 2x2. But it's not 1, is it? Yes, it is 1. 3 1x4s. 2 3. And one of those connector pieces, that side of it. Now we need one grey 1x4, 3 grey 1x2s, and 2 of these grey right angles. And we need to build this. So the right angle on the bottom, the grey on top, these 2 little bits sticking out, we are going to have to wait until we put the next part on top to do the next bit. So now we put that on there and that on there, which allows us to put this piece under here. Which then gives us a place to put that out the front. And then, oh, this is the bucket. There you go. And we put that on there. This part goes across the middle of it. Give it stability. I'm sure I can get a finger down in there. Where's my paintbrush? Give them a good push down. Okay. Oh, and there's a grey 2-piece that just goes there. So now we have the bucket. So now let's work on the arm. We need one yellow long piece, a 2x4 in yellow, a 2x3 in yellow, a 2x2 in yellow. Nope. 2 of the ball joints. A 1x4 in grey, and 1 right angle in grey. Okay. So we start off with this, and then onto that we put the 3. Covers the whole thing up. So then I need that piece. I need this piece to stick out the front from the bottom. And then we need the 4 straight after it. That will help us locate this, like that. Now we can put the right angle. Oh, hang on. We should be able to locate that onto there. And there's a grey piece goes there. And then the right angle piece goes there. Like that. Looks good. So now we have those 2 pieces. And looking ahead, that piece goes into there. Alright, so now number 8, we need another long piece. We also need 3 2x4s. 1, 2, 3. we need two 2x3s. One. Oh. Oh. There it is. Whew. Scared me. One 2x2. One socket joint. One ball joint. One 4x1 and two 1x2s. Okay, so we start off with our ball joint. Then we stack one of these on top of it. And then we put one of these on top of that. And then we put one of those on top of there. And one of these on top of there. And then we go the 4 or the 2x2. Two by 4. And before we put that last piece on, we're going to have to put this on top so that we can get that piece on the bottom of it. And then we put on some pretty patterns on the top. 2, 4, 2. So now that goes into there. This part goes into there. Oh, look at that. Look at the articulation on that. Now we'll just go back to find out where that needs to be located. I think it needs to be located in those two, like that. And there we go. So that was a lot more complex than the first one. I thought the race car was so much easier to do than that. That had a little bit more things to do to keep you going. I love them. They come in all different types. So these red ones are all vehicles. I'd love to get the bulldozer, and there's a tank in the vehicles, and then there's animals, and there's a few other things. As I said, I'll put a picture of the actual web page that shows. Oh, actually, I didn't say that. I said I'd put a link, but I will. I'll throw a picture in just after this. Little bit to show you what's available on their website. Get over there, pick them up, have a go. Great beginner things, especially if you're not sure if your child would be interested in it, or your adult if you in that case. Because I mean, my wife picked these up for me for the usual $2.80 way back in the day. They only seem to have gone to $3.10. I'm not sure whether that's just a website price or whether it's in store at that price. Please let me know. Yeah, chuck something down in the comments if you go into store and find out that it's still at $2.80, which Daiso sort of started at. So there they are. Yeah, let's do a little rotation of that one in front of the camera. So there's two of the vehicles. I'll get pride of place down in the gaming room on one of the consoles, I'm sure. Get a few extra bits. After you do a few of these, I'm sure you could build something else with all these bits. I'll just pop them in there. You never know when they'll come in handy for something. Even as bits on models or something, you can probably find a use for it. Sand off the knobby bits that make them look like that they're Lego. Okay. And there you go. Thanks for dropping by. Consider subscribing. Click the like if you like it. Click the dislike if you don't. Or if you're a bit meh about it, don't click either. Give us a few comments on what I've done wrong, what I haven't done wrong, a few of the questions that I've asked you could answer in the comment section. And yeah, keep on geeking.